This one?
The Wall Street Journal published a piece with this striking headline. Jeffrey Epstein's friends sent him bawdy letters for a 50th birthday album. One was from Donald Trump. Now, their friendship, you'll recall, went back decades. The article details a moment.
Yeah, but he acts like he's never even talked to Epstein like that.
From 2003, and some of the letters that Epstein's one-time girlfriend and accomplice, Ghislaine Maxwell, gathered for a birthday tribute album. According to the Wall Street Journal, pages from the album are among documents examined by Justice Department officials who investigated Epstein and Maxwell. The paper, citing people who have reviewed the pages. Here's the passage about then-citizen Trump's letter. Quote, this is from the Wall Street Journal. The letter bearing Trump's name, which was reviewed by the Journal, is bawdy, like others in the album. It contains several lines of typewritten text framed by the outline of a naked woman, which appears to be hand-drawn with a heavy marker. A pair of small arcs denotes the woman's breasts, and the future president's signature is a squiggly Donald below her waist, mimicking pubic hair. The letter concludes, happy birthday, and may every day be another wonderful secret.
Bro, what the hell is this? Oh, that is condemning.
Now, the president's denial. Quoting again from the Wall Street Journal, in an interview with the Journal on Tuesday evening, Trump denied writing the letter or
I bet.
the picture. This is not me. This is a fake thing. It's a fake Wall Street Journal story, he said. I never wrote a picture in my life. I don't draw pictures of women, he said. It's not my language. It's not my words. The president also threatened legal action, saying, quote, I'm going to sue the Wall Street Journal just like I sued everyone else. Joining me now with analysis and contributor, tech journalist Kara Swisher, host of The Pivot, and on with...
That is crazy.
Swisher podcast.
Where did they dig this up from?
She's also the author of Burn Book, a tech love story. First of all, Kara, your reaction to this Wall Street Journal story?
Well, I think it's just the beginning, actually. It's the first story. I think there's probably more to come. I think as he doesn't release this stuff, people will start giving it to reporters, things will start getting out, and none of it looks good for Trump.
Like I said, they're going to start leaking these things. I still think that he's not going to release these files, and let me tell you why. It's because they don't have the full picture, so all they can do is give out kind of like teases. The full picture would most likely ruin him. It would ruin Donald Trump. If he is, in fact, heavily brought up in the Epstein files. If not, he really doesn't have anything to be scared of, so I don't know why he's not releasing it. But again, they don't have the actual files to leak. All they have is like teases to what could be in the files.
Story, even if he denies it.
It's kind of crazy because we haven't seen much of dear old Trumpy ever since this kind of hit the ceiling. We haven't seen him at all. He hasn't done any press conferences, nothing.
We have things in common, Jeffrey.
He's running scared. That's why.
Creates a feeling, and especially online, that it gets amplified and really weaponized in a lot of ways. So it's not going to end here until he releases these files in some substantive way, which he seems resistant to do, and could be possibly for these reasons. It looks bad for him.
Do you think he's going to follow through on his threat to sue the paper?
Sure. He does that all the time.
I was going to say, he's notorious for suing media like that. He's notorious for it.
I think they've got this nailed down. I'm sure Rupert Murdoch didn't. I mean, obviously Emma Tucker's an amazing editor at the Wall Street Journal, but this had to have had approval by Rupert Murdoch or Lachlan Murdoch. And so I think they probably feel that they are very much locked down on this information. And again, everybody's going to be doing much more reporting. And that's the problem here, the drip, drip, drip. The problem for Trump is...
Yeah, they're going to drip it until they either pressure him into releasing it or until it just kind of fades out of... just straight up fades out of, the light.
Friends with Epstein during his most heinous period, right, of behavior before he was arrested the first time, and they were very close. And
there's an Epstein interrogation where he even admitted that Donald was his best friend for like 10 years. So there's no way.
It's obvious. There's pictures everywhere, and as more stuff comes out, especially that Trump doesn't have control of, the online reaction is going to be massive, especially among his supporters. And that's the real problem here. These people have been bred on conspiracy theories, he's been feeding a lot of them and getting them used to it. And so it's like, it's like feeding children tons of toxic sugar. What do you, don't be surprised.
I mean, let's be honest here. Let's think about this for 5 seconds. He was in Hollywood, right? So we already know that the Hollywood, architecture and people there were severely riddled with pedophiles and just bad. Just bad, man. They were just bad to kids. And he came from that, so it's no wonder why he would, then, end up being the president, surrounded by all this crazy stuff, and it just kind of haunting over everything, because, like, Hollywood's already been exposed. Maybe it's time for the government to be exposed. Because this is some heinous shit, man. This is crazy.
That they behave like this, and they're going to continue to do so, because it's one of the bearing walls of the way Trump attracts his fans to him. And
it's feeding your kids toxic sugar, and then calling them stupid and weaklings for liking toxic sugar.
That's what's really firing everybody up, is that he's calling people names and then being surprised when there's mega backlash. I mean, bro's learning how to be a content creator. He just doesn't know it yet.
Exactly.
And then there's the
legitimately, dude.
We played the clip of him talking to Tucker Carlson earlier in a social media post on X, responding.
Tucker's
to
fired up
too.
too.
Journal story is, quote, the dumbest attempted hit piece I've ever read. Elon Musk said, quote, yeah, the letter sounds bogus. What do you think of that, given how much Elon Musk has been posting about the Epstein files in recent days?
I don't know. I'm sure he doesn't know anything. I mean, these people just say things off the top of their heads. That's my experience. I
mean, like, it's fine up until you got the president of the United States naming people on a quote unquote list that doesn't exist, like the prince of, like, I think it was like Europe or something, and then he also name dropped like a few other people. Like, you can't just name drop people. That's defamation, bruh. On one of the, like, most disgusting pedo lists that ever existed, and he's just dropping names from it. Like, come on, man. If that's not blackmail, I don't know what is.
I think it's a beginning story, and I think they're trying to create a narrative here, and probably they have other stuff reporting they're doing. This would be my guess as an editor, that there's this relationship. There was a close relationship. That's really the problem for Trump, is separating himself from Jeffrey Epstein, especially when his base is not just enamored. It's at the heart of. It's not like a little thing. It's a structural pillar of this movement. Is Jeffrey Epstein and all that he represents. So.
Well, it's also tied to the QAnon movement. I mean, it sort of
correct
is in that same petri dish. And obviously there's crossover with. I mean, it's part and parcel. Or I don't know if it's a subheading of the QAnon movement, but they're kind of linked together.
It is. Oh, no, the QAnon part is critical here. I mean, they have trained these people to think these things. Remember Hillary in the base?
I mean, he managed to rile up this. I don't want to make accusations. He had people so convinced that the election was rigged on January 6th that they stormed the Capitol. It's kind of, in a way, funny that now everyone's so riled up about this that they're actually losing faith in the president, because he's actively going out of his way to undermine and call people names simply because they want the truth. And as far as I'm concerned, as an American citizen that's protected under the amendments, for most people, the freedom of knowledge is the only freedom you have nowadays. Because, like, it's so much oppression from these online medias, so many people getting paid off not to talk, so many things that we just don't see behind closed doors, that they're so willing to shut the door on any type of transparency, that there's only so much of that the American people can deal with, being in their fucking poor domains and not being able to break out of there unless they win the fucking lottery or invest in some weird ass crypto scheme, that it's so hard to get out of the position we're in because of all the decisions that are made with higher up people on taxes, on food, on anything, that it just feels like all they do is for, like, I'm talking about senators, all the senators and the higher elite political people, the 1%, that get into these political stances, they just get up the ladder and they pull it right up, and they just flip you the middle finger while they're up there because they know there's no way you'll ever be able to get to that status. And then anyone they don't like that is up there with them, they throw down the door. They just throw out the door. And it's
Vomit pizza basement and everything
I
else.
mean, we saw it a lot with Hollywood. Before Hollywood got exposed, it was the same thing. So, of course, we wouldn't be able to get anything done with this country because everything is so fucking corrupt, because the people that should be in jail or kicked out are still there making bad decisions on top of bad decisions. Because, I mean, if you're involved in this scandal, I don't trust you to make good decisions because you're a fucking idiot. Like, you're a pedo, you're a rapist. Like, you don't need to be where you're at with all that money. They need to put these people in jail and seize all their assets so that way they can start from the ground up again. Maybe whenever they get out, if that's even possible for them. But they don't deserve anything less than, a ruined life, because it's disgusting.
They have eaten this conspiracy theory for a long time, and Epstein is a critical character in it. And to make fun of them is a problem.
Everything is swirling around those Epstein files, and they're going to try everything they can to keep them buried.
Thing, and to tell them that they don't know what they're talking about after feeding them this stuff. It is very much linked together. And you live by QAnon, you die by QAnon in a lot of ways. I mean, I think online, this movement, you just go online and watch the reaction. It is not Democrats, although I think Democrats are taking advantage of a really dicey situation.
Of course they are. Why wouldn't they be?
But it's mostly the base that is going crazy on all these sites. And if you look at the comments, if you look at some
and
of
the reason why is because a lot of these places, like, being marked a pedo is just bad. Like, we've all been raised that way, and it's bad. It's just bad. Like, you're a disgusting piece of human trash. You should be like, I can't really say what I think should happen to people that go around and abuse kids like that. I can't. I would get banned instantaneously on every fucking platform. But whenever you try to oppress or suppress this, whenever you know damn good and well that if you're in a place of power and you're doing these nasty things, that, like, where I'm trying to go with this is, you can't. Everyone is raised with this mentality that that's bad. And now you've got people in high places that are trying to ignore it because they know they can't convince people that it's okay that this happened. So they're just trying to ignore it. And it's backfiring in their face because all these people that supported Trump, who wanted these files to come out, they hate pedos just as much as the next guy. And the thing is that if they stop talking about it, they know they could be, caught the crossfire of this, and they don't want that. They want to keep their base because they probably get a lot of money from the people that watch them and view their stuff.
Although some of them have pulled back, probably in fear of Trump, it's a real problem for him, especially as it gets amplified and weaponized online. And I think he doesn't have the power to stop that because it's at the heart of this online conspiracy world that is linked together in so many different ways and is incredibly powerful.
It's also interesting to me that President Trump is now calling this a hoax, a Democratic hoax, essentially.
Yeah.
It's something that's propagated by Democrats. I mean, the hoax...
Well, that's because Trump came out and said that. That's why.
Was Dan Bongino and Kash Patel on all these podcasts saying just saying stuff and pushing this and fanning the flames of this, I guess, for views, for for profit. And now
it's a good thing to stand for. There's nothing wrong with standing for this. Like, the advocacy of the release of these documents, hands down, is one of the best things that these people have ever done, in my opinion. Like, these documents need to be released to the public. And they, with their heart and soul, know that it is wrong for the U.S. government to keep these files locked up. They know this. Everyone knows this. That's why so many people are up in arms about this.
They are in a position where
we want to know the truth. What happened?
actually seen this. I mean, Kash Patel, I think it was to Joe Rogan saying, or to Glenn Beck, yeah, the FBI director has the black book of Epstein and could release it right away. He's now the FBI director. I guess he's now the guy. The black book, which was published, by the way, a number of times in, I think, New York Magazine, online. I think Gawker did it years and years ago.
Yeah, I think that the problem is this is all linked. These people were all for it until they were against it. It creates a real feeling of unease among the followers. And again, Epstein is at the heart of it. And so the problem for Trump is that they will keep talking about this. And he is, factually speaking, they were friends for a decade or more, right? And they were social friends. And he was on the plane. There's lots of facts here that could be, look, maybe nothing happened. Maybe something happened. Who knows? But if he doesn't release
10 years is a long time.
the files, there's no way of removing himself from this controversy.
No, there's not.
Look, some people could have just gone to that island. And
I think that he's cooked if those files get released. That's why he's trying to bury them. I really do. I really do. I really do think that he's cooked if those files get released.